It was raining in London. Not the steady drizzle of autumn, but a sudden heavy downpour that turned the cobbled streets into rivers. I stood under the awning of a dimly lit pub on a side street near Soho, waiting by pre-arrangement. The source arrived on time. He wore a long, dark coat, his face half hidden by the hood. He handed me a small black USB drive enclosed in a plain envelope. "Read it," he said, "then decide." He turned and walked away without another word. I watched him go. Then I looked at the drive. Inside, the data was encrypted. I took it home. That night, I decrypted it using the password scribbled on a piece of paper inside the envelope. As I read from my computer screen, my hands began to tremble. It was shocking, unbelievable. I learned from the diary on the drive that the obelisk retrieved from the Mariana Trench had received a massive, unexplained data dump from the celestial object 3I Atlas. The quantum AI system, EOS, had processed only enough to confirm that the dump contained information about warp drive technology. Only 3 words, no other details, nothing else. But the data dump was estimated at approaching 3 petabytes, more information than humanity has ever produced in its entire history. I had to get out of the flat. I needed air. I walked for 30 minutes through the wet streets, trying to clear my head. When I returned, I continued reading. I learned that the consortium had fallen into chaos and infighting, a total breakdown. Some demanded immediate decryption of the new data. Others insisted the obelisk itself be destroyed. Files described shouting matches, threats, people no longer working together. One scientist wrote, "We are not ready. We never were. This is ridiculous." Another, "If we don't act now, we will be left behind forever." A third, "This is not power. It's a curse." I closed the files and my laptop around 1 a.m. Before I fell asleep, I thought of the Kael'Nyrin and their first-order principle, a moral law forbidding interference with emerging species. And here we are. I realized then that this must have been a drop from a rogue faction within the Kael'Nyrin. Recall that I had exposed their existence in the Kael'Nyrin scrolls, our children of starlight. The data drop now confirms that quite probably the obelisk was planted by a rogue faction from among the Kael'Nyrin. It is now more apparent that the book itself was a breach of their first-order principle. Now I was being asked to breach it again. The call. I got up late the next morning. I hadn't slept restfully at all. Around 10:30 a.m., my phone rang, a withheld number. I answered. On the other end, "Doctor, I'm sorry to disturb you on a Saturday morning. You don't know me and we've never met. I beg you for a few minutes of your time. I am not a patient or relative. I do not need psychiatric advice." Well, that was new. He continued, "I've read your work, the Kael'Nyrin Scrolls, Our Children of Starlight. It was an amazing existential exploration." I interjected, "Sorry, I don't want any publicity." No, sorry," he replied quickly. "It's nothing like that. I'm calling you from near the UAE. Please be seated for what I tell you next." I said, "Okay, shoot, nothing ever floors me." Then he said, "I am the benefactor you mentioned in your book." Me, or you could be Jeff Bezos pretending to be the benefactor. "Look, I don't have time for crank calls." He interrupted, "No, this is real. Something terrible has happened in the consortium. There is chaos. Some new data has been received mysteriously. The world is in serious danger. I need to speak with you in person." Like flipping heck. Just last night I'd received knowledge of this, but I didn't let on to this benefactor as he claimed to be.
"Okay, you've got my curiosity. What have you got in mind?" He explained, "I'll make arrangements for you to be flown out to me. A driver will pick you up early Sunday morning at 2 a.m. He'll be in a Rolls-Royce Phantom." Me. Really? This is sounding like a really elaborate joke. He assured me, no, it isn't. You'll be transported to an airfield near Luton. From there, my private jet will take you over here. Spend 10 nights with me as my special guest. I'll take care of everything. I broke out in laughter. He tolerated it. After a few seconds, he said, test this joke. Be ready and see if it happens. If you decide you're not getting in the Rolls-Royce, that's fine. Me. Well, in all my career as a psychiatrist, I've never come across anything nearing this level of madness. He remained calm. Well, this one is a new challenge for you. He made a slight chuckle. We don't know each other, but you are invited to test reality. Get ready for 2 a.m. tomorrow. I thought, this is so crazy, I got to check it out. Me. Okay, I'll be ready, but I'm not expecting anything to happen tomorrow. He replied, fine, we'll meet up on Monday evening. You'll see. We ended the conversation politely. Paranoia and preparation. Right, so I had to get out of the flat again for some more air. What a crazy time this is. Getting the USB drive detailing what's going on in the consortium, then coincidentally receiving this call from the benefactor who seems to know about it. I'm paranoid as hell. Is somebody planning a hit on me? I contacted the source via Signal and asked about this. He confirmed that the benefactor was present in person at the consortium and had made sweeping decisions during the chaos. He did not say anything to anyone else besides me. He believed, based on what I told him of the conversation, that it was really him. He did not think someone was planning to assassinate me. On Saturday afternoon, I decided to pack up and get ready for this trip to some part of the Middle East. I knew this would be the maddest thing I'd ever done in my life. I made calls to 2 close family members. I told them I was going abroad on a holiday deal I'd just booked on Travel Republic to Dubai for 2 weeks. I gave no other details. And I thought, Christ, if I never return. WTF. Yes, this is madness. Sunday morning. On time, 2 a.m. A Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up. A smartly dressed chauffeur greeted me with all the English courtesy. He helped me load my baggage into the massive boot. Then we drove off. I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing? The rear seats were like something out of heaven. I pressed some buttons to get light piano music against a background of silence as we moved through to the airfield near Luton. I nodded off for about an hour. At the airfield, everything was like clockwork, smooth processing, baggage taken care of, treated like royalty. I was boarded and lifted into the air. To myself, yes, this is happening. Or maybe you'll wake up in a few minutes pleasantly unsurprised.